This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
Anyway, Brian Zane from Wrestling Secret, you're watching Putting You Over.
And boom. Everybody, how's it going? What's going on? I am the Standing Streamer, and this is Putting You Over. Welcome. It is a Thursday. It is March 26th. I'm still stuck in the house. And yeah, so we're gonna go on. We're gonna put on another show here again tonight. NXT and AEW was last night. I didn't really catch much of either, to be honest with you. I fell asleep. I'm doing a lot of work with the three ladies at home in the homeschooling. So yeah, but tonight we're gonna do Putting You Over, you know. And we got a guest. We got Man Scout Gaming. So hopefully we can get him fired in here first. But if you have any questions, don't forget, get in the Discord, which I didn't write a command for. But it is discord.io/putting you over. You come in, get in the channel labeled on the line. I will see you there. I'll pull you in. It should work. I didn't change any of the settings. Not one. So if it doesn't work, I'm going to be pissed. Can you hear me, Mr. Manning?
I can.
You can. Awesome. So it's working. So that's step one. Did you want to use video tonight or just audio?
Sure, we can use video.
Awesome. Excellent. Look at that. Look at that mustache. Looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Looking sharp. Looking sharp. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be on a show that you probably never heard of, didn't know me from a hole in the wall. So I appreciate
That's
that.
how people see my career. So what better guest do you have than a guy that you've never heard of before, would recognize me from a hole in the wall?
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? It's fun. It's good. And, you know, the first time I ran across you was I'm friends with the guys over at Retrosoft Gaming for Retromania Wrestling. And
cool.
you were involved in their Indie Mania like tournament, like March Madness style tournament. You know, with a chance to be involved and be included in the game, which unfortunately you didn't win, although I did vote for you. But
I appreciate that. You're one of the few, so I appreciate that greatly.
yeah. And but yeah, they're great guys. They had a lot of I told them I was interviewing you, and they had a lot of good things to say about you, and they're like, yeah, just let them know, you know, we're trying to work all the guys in and some DLC content and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll do my best and all that. So that's when I first ran across you.
I'm surprised you said anything good about me. I drug my feet on that entire process the entire time. So
yeah,
that's no, that I left a decent impression, even at my worst.
even at your worst. What were you dragging your feet about? Weren't into it?
Oh, it's just anytime like, hey, we need pictures or we need a video clip, and I'm like, we need you to fill out this paperwork, and it was just typical indie wrestler. Hogan. But, I did it anyways. It probably was more responsible than most people.
I mean,
So.
they could? I mean, I went and grabbed pics. I can find pics of you, and
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess the paperwork is needed. But whatever.
It's all right.
It all works out in the end, I guess. Um, your first wrestling memory, whether it's in the ring or being a fan, or where did your love stem from, and what's the first wrestling memory you have?
This is a question gets asked all the time. I thought you were going to have different questions, but it is a good story, and I have tons of practice answering this question, so I'll answer it for you now. One of my earliest memories of anything ever is a match that for a long time I thought was Junkyard Dog versus Ted DiBiase. All I know for sure was Junkyard Dog and a guy in black trunks. And my parents, basically, how I saw this is my parents said that they recorded wrestling because they just got a VCR, and they said, like, we recorded wrestling and you're a boy and we figured you might like this. And so, like, I saw it like Sunday morning, so I watched this match, and just seeing Junkyard Dog walk out and people stand up, like they were excited to see him. Like, that's just something I've always wanted for myself. And that's just like, ooh, I want to do that. Whatever caused those people to do what they just did for this guy, that's what I want. And then seeing the match. Now, it turns out, fast forward several years, I tried to hunt this match down and try and recognize it and try and find where this is or where did I see this or what is this from. Well, I couldn't find anything with Ted DiBiase and Junkyard Dog, and then I was going through some old Saturday Night's main events, and come to find out the match that I saw was Terry Funk versus Junkyard Dog. I saw it, a lot of it came back to me. Also, too, it would have been on a Saturday night. My parents would have recorded it off the TV. Thus, I would have saw it on a Sunday, and the dates line up to about the time that I had some of my other earliest memories. So it basically, my first match I ever saw was Terry Funk versus Junkyard Dog from Saturday Night's main event. But for a long time, I thought it was Ted DiBiase. But turns out it was that. And if you've seen the match from Saturday Night's main event with Terry Funk doing every ridiculous comedy spot that there is, how I became who I became as a professional wrestler all becomes suddenly clear.
Suddenly clear. So go back. So I am gonna go back and watch that now, with that spots. Junkyard Dog and Terry Funk. I didn't know Terry Funk was even on Saturday Night's main event.
It was one of the early ones. I think it was very early. It was just him, and he had Jimmy Hart as a manager. He had like a red poncho. He was doing every dumb spot there was, just getting hit. But yeah, he was on Saturday Night's main event.
I did not know that. All right, so what I'll try to do is I have a whole list of notes here and questions I want to ask, and you caught me off guard with my first question. You're like, oh, I thought you'd have different questions. So I'm going to try and make...
I did not have that tone, sir. I had a condescending, sharp, acidic tone. No. Let you be stand corrected here. I don't.
Well, you're an Eagle Scout. An Eagle Scout wouldn't do that.
And dry.
Dry. So let me do my best. I was talking with someone else today about George South, and I believe that you have a lot of high things to say about George South. Would you like to comment on that and tell us how you ran into him and where you met him?
He's a crazy person. He should be locked up. He should be committed. But he's basically the man that has taught me about professional wrestling in all aspects of it. And he has prepared me for every situation. And now that we live in this world where we don't know what wrestling's going to look like.
No, we don't.
In the next couple weeks, we have no idea. I'm not worried or concerned because I wrestled George South at a wrestling show where there was no wrestling ring. Long before that became in vogue, like there's a wrestling promotion that runs like these shows without wrestling rings. I was doing that 5-6 years ago in a church parking lot. So like I've been put in every weird circumstance. I've had wrestling matches without a referee. I've had wrestling matches like on hanging up the side of a racetrack grandstand. I've all kinds of things that you could possibly. I've had a wrestling match in a prison. I have
Oh my God.
name. I've wrestled where George's had his wrestling ring set up and only had one strip of padding on it. So like it's basically padding, and then the other two padding on the side are gone. So like it's just one strip of padding, and I'd be like, George, you don't want to put the rest of the padding on? He goes, oh, just don't bump there. So I mean, a bomb could go off in the middle of that ring. I could still finish the match. I'm not worried about that. So where we stand as wrestling, as far as it goes right now, I'm fine because I've done way worse. I've been prepared for the situation and recognize and can see what are the circumstances, how can I manipulate it, how can I maneuver it, and to complete the task of entertaining people. And that's because of George South.
George South.
Can't
And was he one of the, did he trained you?
Him and Tony Kazina. Tony Kazina, I give him a lot of credit. He came at a very crucial point in my life and very crucial point in my career and gave me a lot of insight and pulled me aside. Mostly the best training that Tony ever gave me is when we'd sit on, when he would live at the High Spots intern apartment, and we would just sit on the couch and watch wrestling all day on Sunday. And he would just be like, look at the way he looks at the camera and his promos, and he would critique promos as they're happening and talk about spots and talk about what's good, what you don't see anymore, what you do see anymore, and why that is, and why is this, and why is that, what could be possible, what should be possible, what should we be thinking about, like just all types of variables, and really worked out my mind, where George really kind of tested my will and tested my mettle and my, pushed me to the limit physically and mentally.
Wow. You mentioned something earlier about, I believe you said, unless I misheard you, you said like comedy wrestling, correct? Did you say that
Yeah.
with the Terry Funk spots? Did you always have and we'll get, or at least I'll touch on your wrestling style and the fact that you're quote unquote, I don't like to label things like this, but you're quote unquote a comedy wrestler, I guess, is.
I'm the poor man's version of Colt Cabana and Joey Ryan. So if you as a promoter don't want to pay for them, you can get me at a very, very affordable rate, and I will drive in, sir. So
Have you always had a inkling to blend the world of comedy and the world of wrestling together into one as the type of wrestler you are today? Like, when did that occur to you? Like, that's the character, that's the avenue you want to take.
I did a lot of really deep thinking not too long ago because I thought my wrestling career was over, and I wanted to figure out why is it I want to do this, and I had to ask myself a lot of serious questions like that. And I came to the conclusion that I want to entertain the people.
Right.
Well, that's a very broad term, and that wasn't a good enough answer for me. So I dug a little bit deeper, and then I come to find out that I want to make people laugh, because when you are laughing in that moment, you like that person. It doesn't matter if your worst enemy in the entire world, if your worst enemy in the entire world tells a joke and you laugh in that moment, you do not hate that person. It's the only thing that's true. People can lie and fake and pretend to be nice to you to your face. People can even pretend to love you for a while and then just decide they don't anymore. And you question, was that even real? But when you make somebody laugh in that particular moment, they like you.
That's real.
That acceptance, that thing that I've always hunted for my entire life, much like Junkyard Dog walking out and the people standing up. It's because they were excited to see him. And my thing is, once you stand up and you're excited to see me and I deliver you a punchline or I deliver you a laugh, then I know you like me. And I think that's all I've ever wanted in life, and that's the truest form of it, is in comedy.
It is. It's, you make someone laugh. That's, you can't really fake that. And I think
Yep.
that's what you're touching on. But you said something there. So you've always strived for acceptance. Is that in the wrestling world or in general, in life in general?
Yeah, it should be. You know,
Yeah.
I consider myself like a well. You know, like people when you go to a well, you drop the bucket down, you scoop up the water, and you pour the water that you got from this well into a vessel, and you take it back to your home to wash, clean your clothes, cook with, clean your children, do all kinds of things with this water. The water can give life. If you drink it, you can do all kinds of things with this water that you pulled from a well. And then you're like, oh, this well, I'm so grateful to have this well. So I should give something to the well. Well, I mean, you could pour some more water in, but it's a well. It already has enough water. You're like, well, this well helped give us food. Let's put food in the well. Well, the well's just like, what do I do with this? And it's, you can't give anything back to it. It won't allow it. It doesn't accept it. It doesn't understand it. All the well ever wants is for you to recognize that it's a well and appreciate it's there. So,
Interesting. Never thought of it that way.
yeah, that's what I am. I just want to give you something special that you go about your life and not be concerned about me.
About Jake. About Man Scout.
Yeah.
Describe your character. What is Man Scout Manning?
Man Scout Manning is an overgrown Boy Scout. I don't know if you know some of that. When a young lad who is served in the Boy Scouts to the ripe age of 18, he is promptly kicked out of the Boy Scouts and told that he can no longer be in the Boy Scouts.
It's nice.
The whole story is that what if somebody's whole life revolved around the Boy Scouts of America and the achievements that he earned? And then all of a sudden they kicked him out when he was 18 and said goodbye. What's he do with his life? If that's what defined him and now that's gone, what does he do? So essentially, the Man Scout is a crazy person. He's trying to continue on something that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Crazy. He can't let it go.
Yeah.
You're an actual Eagle Scout. Is that right?
I am. I keep my Eagle Scout card in my wallet in case somebody questions me on it. I pulled it out at a couple of wrestling shows, and I love that. Apparently, news thing that Sergeant Slaughter, it's been proven that he never served in the military.
I
or
get
the armed
out.
Services. This is true. There's been that's the thing. Everybody, we all accept it. We all known that. He that's what he is. But they did some digging, and that's not the case. And he's been going out there, and everybody, and there's a couple of people that are like real hipsters, like, oh, I always knew that was a gimmick. I'm like, no, you didn't. Everybody thought Sergeant Slaughter served. Well, apparently he didn't.
Somewhere, right? I assumed he served somewhere.
Nobody can find any record of it. If somebody has done digging on it, he has not served, and we've just gone about and just accepted that. But then I come out with my Boy Scout outfit, which is something that you could very easily do.
Mm-hmm.
To be a Boy Scout, you just have to walk into your local troop and sign up and sign a piece of paper. It's not like you had to go through boot camp and do that. You just sign a piece of paper, but I get questioned whether or not I was a Boy Scout or not. So
it's horseshit, if you ask me.
Yep.
Okay, so we touched on your character, the crazy Man Scout Manning, the Boy Scout who couldn't let it go at the age of 18. What about your style? Where would you put your style?
I would avant-garde. I try. My goal is to give you something that you've never seen before.
I think you're
whether it is me wrestling a camping tent, whether it is I put somebody through a camping tent, whether it is I hit the ropes and read the books. My goal is to do something on the show that nobody else will do on the show. And if you are a first-time fan or you're first time seeing me, I'm going to show you something happen in a wrestling ring that you've never seen happen before. That's what I do.
Who's more over, you or the tent that you put over?
Oh, I clearly I'm over. The tent's been in hiding ever since it lost our grudge match. So I have not seen any, no hide, no here, nor canvas or tent pole from the tent.
No steak, nothing.
Nothing.
You have, how long you been in the business?
This will be my 17th year.
17th year. What is Man Scout Manning's 5-year plan as a wrestler?
Survive.
Survive. All right, what's your 5-day plan? Survive, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I got my bug out bag packed. I love how everybody's comments right now are like, well, if we do too little, it's better to do too much than know that we did too little. Everybody's applying that to sitting around their house and watching Disney Plus. I am applying that to packing a bug out bag, which allows me to survive any location for at least a week to 10 days. I have shelter, food, everything I need, and basically packed in one bag, and I can grab it and take off out my door in a minute's notice. I have a nature preserve behind my house. I can go hide out there and wait for whatever to stop burning and then come back in and scavenge the world.
How has the world affected Man Scouts? I don't know, daily activities. I mean, everything was canceled for him, right? All his matches done.
Also too, I've had a lot of personal stuff happen to me recently.
Yeah.
I work for highspots.com,
Right.
and
Yep. Video editor, correct?
yeah, video editing, but also too now I've had to take a lot of responsibilities over there, and just trying to do whatever I can to keep the lights on, basically, and working 12 hours a day every day. I'll probably have to work on Saturday as well, just to do whatever I can to ensure that we continue to be a business. I know I'm at least good for the next paycheck, but then after that, I don't know. But I'm still going to have to keep working if I want to ensure that this place that has provided me employment for 15 years stays in business. So if you guys have any, you know, any inkling or ever wanted to buy anything, and you have the means to buy something from MySpot.com, I know we have a lot of people that are going to be going on unemployment right now, and cash is something everyone wants to hang on to. But if you have the means and you've always been a fan of professional wrestling, I highly recommend that you go over to High Spots. We have a 50% off and a 36% off on a lot of things right now, and we are just I've been pulling orders, and I look at all the stuff that people purchase on an order, and I go, man, this is a big order. And then I'm like, I wonder how much this costs after the sale price. And I've been floored by the amount of money that people pay for something that I would pay for myself if I was a fan. Like autograph pieces. Like there's been a couple of times where I'm like, oh my God, this person got like an exorbitant amount of autographs from quality people, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, and the grand total for all of this is absurd. Like, it floors me a little bit. And then seeing somebody almost order the entire PWG library for just a few $100. It just blows my mind. Like, I can't believe getting away with this. So, like I said, if you don't have the means, please don't spend the money. But if you have the means and you are a wrestling fan and you're not taking advantage of this once in a lifetime sale for highspots.com, we haven't run a sale like this ever, and there's people taking advantage of. But also too, any wrestler or anybody that's ever been interested in wrestling or anything like that, or wanting to wrestle, like, it's a great 36% off. Also includes knee pads, boots, gear, all kinds of stuff. Like, if this clears up and you want gear, right now is a good time to go get gear. You'll have it in you would have got it for a steal.
Yeah. I
Steal.
think it's 50. I think it's what 50% off the DVDs, 36% off everything else. I believe.
Except for, I believe, except for rings and ring accessories.
Yeah. Because I was on there, I was looking at masks. I'm a big mask fan. I like a lot of masks.
Oh, yeah. This is the time. This is the time to get your masks. This is the time to get your autographs. Definitely DVDs. And there's a few a lot of Japanese comp sets and CW comp sets that you can't get on the network. So it's a good time.
And I think it's something that gets lost in. I mean, this whole coronavirus thing. A lot of you guys independent wrestlers are out of bookings. You're out of that income that comes in, and all this stuff. But something that didn't occur to me till I booked you for this spot and started researching you, is that High Spot is in it hurts them as well, and I didn't understand quite how it would hurt a website which could be anytime, anywhere. You know, you can buy from, you can watch, you can get DVDs. I wasn't. It shocked me to learn that they were put on this sale. So I don't. Does that money goes to its employees? Like
No, see, you got to keep in mind we just we run WrestleCon too.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. All right, I'm an idiot.
Basically, WrestleMania went underground. Basically,
Yep. So that's
we had instead of postponing, we canceled, which means we have to issue refunds.
right.
And some of that money was wrapped up in other things and a lot of other things, and we had to generate some capital. And luckily, we've done that. We are working our way. We had kind of a snag with some of the bank because we were giving away so many refunds so fast.
Right.
I think some people have received their refunds, but I think there's a large chunk of people that we're still waiting for the bank to disperse the funds, and we're going through that. So it's been a whole process. It's been a whole thing, but we've basically have been working our way through the refunds and going through a lot of processes to return the money to a lot of people for that because they probably need it right now, as opposed to just saying, oh, we're postponing the event. We'll do it when we do it, or we'll see you guys in LA and we got your money already. We don't think that's the good conscious thing to do. Especially we recognize that people probably need that money and we need to return it back to them as quickly as possible, and we are trying to expedite that process the best we possibly can. And it's put a lot of strain on my boss, who is also, on top of folding up the tents of WrestleCon, also trying to keep this business that he has been running himself for 2 decades or more. I
want to apologize because I should have known this, because I've been in contact with Christy, the wife of I don't even know her husband's name, but she's the wife of the guy who runs WrestleCon, pretty much. And I was going to try to get him on here to talk about basically what we just talked about, how it, the loss of WrestleMania week pretty much has really hurt the business. It just didn't occur to me as we were talking that High Spots and WrestleCon was so intermingled. I guess I'm 40, I have 3 daughters, and they keep me busy, and I guess I just forgot.
Well, no, it's okay. We try to keep it as separate as possible.
Yeah.
One goes after the other, right? It's a whole thing. But no, there's a lot of intermingling, for sure.
If you want some turnbuckles for the Joey Ryan penis party, they were made. They're $49.99. I'm gonna pick myself up some. Just saying.
You better hurry. They've been selling very well. So I would follow, especially Joey's penis party.
Yeah, everyone else Joey's
that one's been selling pretty well, and we only got 12 of them. So please jump on that.
Oh man, Joey's fucking penis party. I gotta pull my notes back up. I was looking at my DMs. Yeah. So that's Can you tell me a little bit about how did this get booked? I believe that's a thing you do on your YouTube.
It's on my YouTube. It's a podcast, which today's episode was supposed to be out today, but my producer has been MIA. for whatever reason, I sent him the episode, this week's episode on Tuesday, and I haven't heard from him. I would love to plug the episode that's out right now, which is WrestleMania 7. It is on my YouTube page. I definitely put it up on my YouTube page because I do the YouTube video, but it should be out on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts right now, and basically we take a non-wrestling fan and make them watch a show that's less than stellar with me and my co-host Zane Riley, but our non-wrestling fan actually lost her job last week because of all of this, and she had to move back with her parents. She wasn't able to do the podcast when we were going to record it. So I guess since WrestleMania is going to have no fans, How Did This Get Booked had no non-wrestling fan in attendance for the podcast. So me and Zane Riley jumped in and had a wonderful conversation about everything about the show. We did the best we could. And sometimes the episodes where it's just me and Zane are sometimes the better ones. And we did our best covering WrestleMania 7.
7.
The other one that had a last minute venue change.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Do you not know the story? They were advertising WrestleMania 7 was supposed to be in the LA Coliseum, and Bruce Pritchard will tell you, little column A, little column B, that it was poor ticket sales and security issues because running the Coliseum would cost all this extra money for security, lighting, all types of different things, and the company didn't have the money for that. Also, too, they weren't selling the tickets for it, so it made more sense to run the LA Sports Arena.
WrestleMania 7, was that the
Sorry?
one? Go ahead.
So it's the one with Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter,
All
the
right.
Iraqi War.
Yeah. Wow, I must have been too young. Didn't even realize that. Guess I should have followed up on that.
You were on a wrestling podcast and you don't know about WrestleMania 7? You don't know that Terry Funk was in Saturday Night's main event?
No, I'm gonna.
You're making me look like an old man. Like I'm gonna be.
This is my last show. Should be, right? Yeah, I'm failing. But anyways, if you need someone to friggin' upload and get your podcast out there, just get a hold of me because I did about 2 today. I don't know what your producer's doing. And I homeschooled 3 girls.
He's in Oregon, so I don't know what's going on with him.
Do you stay up to date with today's product? With today's promotions?
I check into my friends. And that's about it.
That's about it. Who's some of your close friends?
Well, I helped train Cedric Ellis, Alexander. I was right there in the beginning part, but a lot of it was because of him and his drive. So I can't take credit for it, but I was definitely, I tried to give him the best possible opportunity for success, and he succeeded.
He did, and he took a hard shot this week. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's Cedric.
Yeah,
leaning with his head. But also too, Kevin Owens is a good friend of mine. I've known him for a very long time. Also, Sami Zayn. A lot of other guys there also too. Like a lot of the AEW guys. Like I see them around. I see them a lot more than I've seen some of the WWE guys I've seen the AEW guys a lot over the last several years, and I've seen some guys that I have been very close with and known for a very long time, like Scott Dawson. I haven't seen him in, I don't know, might be decades by now. Might be a decade by now.
Well, you might see him soon. He's a free agent, I believe.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe.
I mean, he is the Bret Hart to my Shawn Michaels, so it's about time we come back around.
Oh.
I just gotta shove a bunch of gauze down my biker shorts.
What about NWA? Do you follow the NWA?
I mean, a little bit because Caleb Connolly's there.
Oh yeah.
But I keep trying to get him to book me to be a cameraman, but they just keep turning me down for whatever reason.
They got the circle squared. You didn't want to sign up for that?
They don't want me. Listen, they have zero. There are a lot of wrestling promotions right now that are doing a lot of things. I promise you, the one that wants me the least is the NWA.
Oh my
They
God,
don't
are you
want
serious? Because I would
uh,
think
oh,
that you'd fit perfect.
I'd be perfect anywhere for sure. I would be perfect for them, but I think everybody involved in what they want to put out in the world, they want nothing to do with the Manscaped character at all. At all. That is not what they want to put out into the world at all.
They got
Like
Zicky Dice as their TV champion. They put that out in the world.
I would have a better chance of signing with WWE as a 38-year-old with bad knees and no international experience than I ever would to have one match with the NWA. No, the NWA has zero interest in me whatsoever. Now, I would be good on it. I would be great on it. People would like that, but they will never book me.
Oh,
And
that's sad.
Close second would probably be Ring of Honor. Like those are the two that will have nothing to do with me ever, ever.
Why is that?
But I don't know. You look at their roster. They want nothing to do with a guy who is a comedy guy, a character guy. They've either got their character.
They had Cole Cabana.
But they already got him. They already got him, and they're done. They don't need anymore. Once they got one, you're done. You got one, you're done. You don't need another one. Why do we need you when we got him? So now we just want serious wrestlers in trunks.
Ugh. Wrestling's supposed to be fun, Man Scout.
I know it is. Oh, I know it is. But once they get their character guy, and like, this is our character guy, and this is the only character guy we can have. That's how promoters and those promotions operate. They want nothing to do with anybody else. Once they got their character guy, like we got our character guy, we don't want any more. As opposed to getting getting this character guy and getting the evil character guy and put them in different trajectories and then have them meet at a point, and then there's a story that you can tell with them.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks like that, and nobody at all thinks like that. So the best option for me at NWA is being the camera guy. That's why I'm angling for it. So when fans are like, I want to see the Man's Got on NWA, I do too. I want to be on there as the camera guy because that's the only position they will ever give to me. You understand you gotta understand how these people work. I mean, I could go beg for a job and they're just going to tell me no forever. And I already know it. I already know what their answer is going to be because I already know how they operate because I already know what they've got in their mind. I don't agree with what they have in their mind. Hence why I do the wrestling that I do. I do the wrestling that I do because I think it works, I think it's successful, I think it's what people want to see, I think it's interesting, and I think I'm good at it. Not just good, great at it. And I would be great on their promotions, doing their shows, and being a part of their product. But they have no interest, and they are so short-sighted that they won't see the potential in someone like me. But that is completely okay. They make the decisions. I do not. In $5 wrestling, I make the decisions, and I feel like I've made good decisions so far. So that's got me on my rant. Right
no, that's great. That is, I love the rant. I love to hear it, and it opens my eyes. I like the NWA, but I like you as well, and I love your character, and it shocks me to hear. It just shocks me to hear that. You had Cole Cabana in ROH. You had him in NWA. You have Danhausen, who's great as well, a comedy guy himself.
They already got their one.
Well, I'd say go
one. They don't get a second. That's the curse of the comedy guys. Once you get your one, they think that they don't have room for two.
But they do. Well, we could get on this all day.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do need to, and you could put them in different spots in different places and alternate them out. But they're like, oh, well, if we have two comedy guys, then we're just Gaga, and they take themselves way too seriously as opposed to just finding out a way to have levity in two different spots. And yeah, they don't know how to stagger that and how to put that together.
What about the MLW? You watch any of that?
I'm aware of it. I enjoy it. I like it. I think it's done a lot for Brian Pillman Jr., so I'm happy to see that. It's done for a lot of things for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's not bad. $5 wrestling. Go ahead. What were you gonna
yeah.
say?
No, I'm done. I'm done.
You're done. That's it. The rant. It's over. $5 wrestling. You mentioned that. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
$5 wrestling is a creation that I came up with. Jake Manning, came up with, and reached out to Colt Cabana and Marty DeRosa about, or most specifically Colt, and he gave me some feedback and introduced me to Marty, and thinks that he'd be the best guy for this project that we had cooking up, and it rolled right along, and then it stopped abruptly because of a multitude of different reasons, but now it's back. It's something that when I am at some of the darkest points in my life and the most depressed and bummed out, it's a thing that I can turn to give me solace. And it's definitely been that for me last year, which is a very rocky year for me. I saw a lot of highs last year, but a lot of lows, where this year's been full with a lot of lows. And I have to say, like the couple, the little bit of $5 wrestling that I've done this year has really been the highest of highs for me. And once we kind of settle things down here in North Carolina, we're gonna get an empty arena $5 wrestling show, and I'm gonna take every precaution. I'm gonna basically do hour blocks where the guys are having a match. They're gonna come in,
Yeah.
they're gonna get dressed, they're gonna cut their promos, they're gonna wrestle their match, and then
Boom.
they're gonna
Wow.
go ahead and get out the door. And I'm just gonna do different blocks throughout the day, and I'm gonna spend an entire day putting together a 5-match, maybe 6-match card of $5 wrestling, and it's gonna be empty arena, and I'm gonna call it one piece at a time. So as soon as this calms down,
Step by step.
it's gonna be one piece at a time, like the Johnny Cash song.
Oh.
I like that you went to step by step ABC TGIF, but you can't remember WrestleMania 7, 1991.
No, I can't. Oh man, I tell you, this is great stuff. All right, I'm gonna end with one question, and it's a 2-part question. So I want you. It's a dream match, dream wrestling match with Man Scout Gaming. I want you to book yourself against one wrestler from the past and one wrestler from today.
Okay. Well, the past is easy. This is the when people ask this question about dream matches, and they give me the caveat for anyone, any place, and any time.
Yes.
It is always, and will be forever, Brad Armstrong.
Oh wow, I was not expecting you to say that.
Yeah, Brad Armstrong. And there was times where it could have happened, but George South just wouldn't let him go long enough for me to ever have a match with him. But I was a very big fan of Brad Armstrong when I grew up a big wrestling fan, and then wrestling went away from me for a few years, mostly because it went to more so cable than it did the syndicated shows were very hard to find, and I couldn't find them. They're rarely ever find. And then when I got cable, I fell back in love with WWF, but then I discovered WCW.
Right.
And I used to watch WCW Saturday Night in the beginning of 1995, and my favorites on WCW Saturday Night in 1995 were Arn Anderson, Sir Robert Earl of Eaton.
Ooh, Sir Bobby.
And I had no context of him, no knowledge of him from Midnight Express. I did not see NWA until I moved here to Charlotte, North Carolina. Was not even aware of it. And then my absolute favorite was Brad Armstrong, and Bobby was basically a job guy on there. I mean, yeah, he had a tag team with William Regal, and they won some matches.
Enhancement talent, they'd say.
They were mostly like a good middle of the road tag team to get over the Harlem Heat or get over the American Males. Like they were just built up enough to put other people over. But they were great at it. They were entertaining the crap out of me. They were my favorites. And Brad Armstrong very much was a guy that you might win a match, you might lose a match, and like just seeing Brad Armstrong was so good. I just unbelievable, and it just I think he was great. And I think he's awesome. And when I moved here, George gives people nicknames because he doesn't remember real people's doesn't remember his people's real names because he's like, you're just gonna leave me anyway, so why should I remember your name? And but I stuck around for 15 years, and his name for me was Bullet because I look like Brad Armstrong, and that made me so happy because I love Brad Armstrong.
Yeah,
I've always loved Brad Armstrong, and that it would be the easiest, it'd be the simplest match, but it'd be the match I've always wanted to ever have. Take the Russian leg sweep, have him float over. I think one of the things I'm going to do before when this all clears up, I'm going to get back in the ring and start training a little bit harder and just get myself ready. I think I'm going to start doing the Russian leg sweep like Brad and make that just a part of my arsenal just for whatever reason. Just put that in a match more often just because you don't see people doing the Russian leg sweep, especially float over. I used to do that all the time, but I think I need to go back to that a little bit. Yeah.
I think I remember. Go ahead.
Past, present. We've been talking about it. You might see it on a bar wrestling one of these days. I don't know, but I wrestled at WrestlePalooza, and I did some of my book stuff where I was like going through spots while reading a book, and Orange Cassidy was there, and Orange was like, "You and me need to have a match." With him doing stuff with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
And me going through stuff reading a book. Like that. And then me incorporating a tent. Like it's going to be the match. Like nobody would have, everything in that match nobody's ever seen before.
It's funny you say Orange Cassidy because I was going to ask you earlier in this interview. I don't know what you said made me think of Orange Cassidy. Might have been comedy wrestling or whatever, and that people don't appreciate it enough. But I was going to ask you if you had a match with Orange Cassidy yet or not.
I have not. We've been talking about it. Maybe something you see at a bar wrestling one of these days or somewhere else. But it's
okay. It would be great. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And pay attention to the high spots very soon. We've got some interesting Orange Cassidy merchandise memorabilia coming out very soon.
All right, I'll be getting that because he's great.
Little hint, little exclusive for your show. We got to create some new product, new stock, even in this time, and not be stagnant. And it may or may not be Orange Cassidy related.
Oh, that's great. When you mentioned Brad Armstrong, the first thing that came to my mind was like Clash of the Champions. I think I remember like a Brad Armstrong match on Clash of the Champions on like TBS. I could be totally wrong, but I definitely remember him at that time. And the Sir Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson, that was a good time. I'll tell you that. What'd you like better then? You like WCW or WWF at the time?
I grew up a WWF guy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know NWA existed until somebody said it on WCW.
Yeah.
Or maybe even that time that it was on WWE. Like
yeah, right.
I had no idea what it was. So I had no idea of Jim Crockett Promotions. I probably still would have been a WWF guy because I was a kid and I like cartoons. So
yeah. You been watching a lot of TV since we've been all stuck at home?
I haven't been stuck at home. I've been at the office 12 hours.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry about that. You've been working your ass off.
Yeah, I'm gonna work my ass off to keep the lights on. And barely eating too. Like I'm still getting my workouts in, but it's been draining. It's been very tiring.
It's been tough.
Although I had made a point to just kind of chill out on Sundays. I think I was gonna do is make Sunday my day of just like I ain't doing anything or do what I want to do or whatever. Last Sunday I started watching The Wire.
Oh, great! It's a phenomenal show.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to get into that a little bit.
Well, Jake, I'll tell you this. And I don't know WrestleMania 7, so I don't know much of all. But it is a tough time, and you're working your ass off from what you've told me and from what I follow along on Twitter in all the tough times and whatnot. Just take that one day, take it to yourself, and stay strong. You know what I mean? That's my opinion, anyways. But take it for what it's worth. But anyways, another thing I do on this show is I take pride and I don't ever want to keep anybody over an hour. I just don't.
Okay.
None of us need to be wasting our time with over an hour of that stuff. But what I do is I give you the mic. You have the floor now. You can say whatever you want, anything you want. You can put yourself over, put no one over. You can bury me. You can bury yourself. You can plug highspots.com, which has a phenomenal sale right now. But the floor is yours, sir, and I just want to thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you having me. Obviously go to highspots.com. That's very important, especially right now. And give us as much patience as possible. We've sent all our workers home because we were supposed to do that from North Carolina. I'm actually there illegally. I think right now.
I won't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
I won't.
I'm just there to pick up something for work and being there for 12 hours. But we're trying to keep the lights on. Like I said, if you have the means and you're a wrestling fan, go buy something, not just to support us, but the sale's ridiculous.
It sure is.
You'd be dumb not to take advantage of it. Like if you have the means, this is the time, friends. And even two wrestlers, elbow pads, knee pads, kick pads, 36% off. Trust me. Once you see that grand total, and hopefully all this passes, you'll be those savings will be much welcomed. Thinking ahead like that. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, especially Twitter. I've been trying to be as active as possible, let people know and update what's going on with all the stuff with WrestleCon, all the stuff with High Spots. I'm very, 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 very active, especially on Twitter nowadays. And I just tweeted something not too long ago because I've gone through some personal stuff on top of all this that I don't need to get into. I already made it public on my Twitter feed. But a lot of things happened in the span of a week, and it's a lot to deal with, and it's very frustrating because a lot of the outlets on how I deal with depression like this are gone for me. I don't have wrestling shows. I don't have comedy shows. I don't have open mics to go to. I can't perform. That was always my outlet, and I don't have that anymore. And I'm basically the thing that's keeping me sane is working as much as I am, but it's also taking a toll on me mentally, and I'm fading out even as I'm saying this.
I know. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, don't let that. Find a way, find an outlet now, find someone to talk to. God damn it, Jake! If you want to just DM me to say something absolutely stupid that you're pissed off about, you can do it. I ain't gonna tell anybody. You want to do a set right now as a comedian? I'll let you do it. You want to do it?
It's quite okay.
Okay.
It's a little different. I've seen the fucking non-audience fucking comedy stuff, and it sucks.
Okay. All right. You got a good point.
I'm not gonna subject anybody to that. Like, I've seen the fucking Skype comedy. Fucking and all of you, stay off Instagram Live. Stay off. There's no need. And all of you assholes are like, should I start a podcast now? Seems like a good time. No, it's not a good time.
No, fuck you.
Just do what you're doing before. But no, I'm very serious. If we get past this, like I consider like everything that I've gone through and the headspace that I've been in and everything I've dealt with. I've referred to this as my Ric Flair plane crash moment.
Oh.
Like they always talk about Ric Flair never being the same after he had that plane crash.
Yeah.
I fully anticipate my life being different if we get through. If we get past this and I get to about to where I was before all of this, oh, you guys are going to hate me. I'm going to be a monster, and I'm going to be hard to deal with, but I will be the best show in town. So you better watch this train go down the tracks flaming on like every end possible. It will be quite a glorious thing, and I think it'll be quite entertaining. So I would be looking out for that, and my life will be a lot different because I did all the right things, and it didn't matter. And I did just enough to get past this awful time, and I'll get past the next one. Or maybe I won't make it to it. We'll see. I'm going to start living life a little bit differently and a little bit more for what I want. So
Awesome. Jake, thank you for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate it. Keep up the hard work, and we'll be in touch, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great night.
You too.
Well, there he is, Man Scout Manning. Oh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it tremendously. It was good. I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Go to highspots.com, pick up something. Check him out at Man Scout Manning on Twitter, Man Scout Manning. And Roman Reigns is out for WrestleMania. Who gives a shit?
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. I have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say. The champ is here!
Hey, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.